All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us. Chris Wynn in studio, talking a little bit about Donald Trump. Oh, by the way, President Donald Trump served some fast food to another title team, North Dakota State, FCS champions, by the way. He served some burgers and fries and salad.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm kind of hungry. I could go for some Mickey D's, right?
Well, that was the reason behind doing it the first time, right? Is young people like fast food.
Look,
they do.
I mean, I can't be more honest. I usually say what's on my mind, and I say what's honest on this radio show every day. People are going to agree. People are going to disagree, and I am totally cool with that. I'm okay, JD, if you disagree with me. I want you to disagree with me, actually. I think it makes for better radio. I like it when the callers disagree with me. Yeah. But what I will say is I want everybody held accountable. If Hillary Clinton broke the law, I want her to be held accountable. And if she, what do you want me to do? There were 8 investigations into Benghazi. None of them found her guilty of crime. Now, there's going to be investigations into Donald Trump. If they don't find he committed any crimes, I'm totally fine with that. That's the way it goes. I am trying to be as fair as possible. And if you want to say all you do is criticize Donald Trump every day, well, he says a lot of stupid things every day, and he does a lot of stupid things. And I know you agree with me with a lot of this stuff, especially what he did with the Otto Warmbier stuff was a disgrace. Being on a stage with Vladimir Putin and siding with him over our own intelligence, that's a disgrace. He does a lot of disgraceful things. Now, whether he broke the law, whether he committed felonies, I hope he didn't. And anyone who tells me otherwise, who says they know what I'm thinking, is wrong. Let's take a couple calls because there's been several people waiting on hold. Let's go to Wayne. Wayne is first. Wayne, thanks for calling in. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you. Hey, I like your show. It's pretty entertaining. I like debating things too. But first, you can't do the Benghazi investigation because you had a left-wing FBI, proven left-wing FBI investigating, just like with her email. Left-wing FBI investigation that are all coming out now saying they should have filed charges against her.
So what should have happened?
With that being said, where was everybody when Obama was shipping pallets of money overseas?
All right.
Where were you guys justifying?
Did you listen? Okay, let me address that. Wayne, did you listen to my show when Obama was president?
I did not.
So why would you make that? So why would you make that assumption then?
You guys are all the same, though. But you guys
Okay. Way to generalize.
We really aren't.
That's like me saying all Waynes are the same. Wayne, come on, dude. You have no idea what my opinions are with Barack Obama. Why would you assume that? Because I criticize Trump, you don't think I criticize Obama?
So did you criticize him?
Absolutely. I thought that money that was sent was a disgrace. It was a disgrace to the country. I also thought he did not help race relations in this country. He made a lot of mistakes as president, and I voted for Mitt Romney. Okay, so for you to make that judgment and assessment based on the fact that I am criticizing Donald Trump, to me, is just one-sided. It's short-sighted and it's biased, Wade, with all due respect.
I am a little biased. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to try and sell it anywhere, but I'm a little biased. I'm a lot biased.
All right, well, at least you admit that.
I vote one way because I feel one way is more my views and one way is more the rest of the world's views.
And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, Wayne. What I do have a problem with is when you hear some of my views, you automatically assume I didn't criticize anybody on the left, and that's not correct.
Well, I've been listening, like I said, first-time caller. First time listening to your show. My girlfriend had it turned on. But you were saying that Hillary Clinton didn't do this and didn't do that.
Wait, your girlfriend turned us on?
Yeah, she turned it on.
Tell your girlfriend that I am a much bigger fan of hers than yours. Can you please tell her that right now? Is she in the room right now?
No, she isn't. She's in the. I'm outside cooking and she's making salad.
Please give her a kiss on the cheek for me and tell her thank you for tuning in to 720 KDWN. We appreciate it. Wayne,
I listen to Laura Ingraham on this station.
Laura's not on this station anymore, so apparently you haven't listened in a long time. But I appreciate the call, Wayne. Tell your girlfriend I said thank you. I appreciate her more than you, but I do appreciate the call, Wayne. Thank you. That was very nice of your girlfriend to tune us in. I'm guessing that his girlfriend might be a little bit to the left. I'm just guessing. I don't know, guys.
Yeah. Well, here's what we need to do, okay? We need to stop with this, just making the assumption that just because we criticize Donald Trump, somebody criticizes Donald Trump, and yet we know nothing about that person, we just assume that they are a left-winger, right?
That's unfortunate.
Doesn't that go on just way too much in this country?
I agree.
All right? Where you're just making the assumption. There's people out there that are never Trumpers, that are conservative Republicans, okay? There's people out there who are independents, okay, that criticize Donald Trump a lot. Yeah. So it's not, look, you can't just pigeonhole people and say that
that's frustrating.
They're just left-wingers because you disagree or because you criticize the President of the United States.
I agree. JD, are you still angry at me? Or do you still hate me?
He looks more stunned
okay
at this
now?
point. Yeah, he's just stunned.
I'll buy you a beer after the show. What do you think about that?
I stopped drinking about 3 years
I'll
ago.
buy you a beer after the show, and I'll hit a Royal right in front of you, and I'll give you $20.
You've hit 3 Royals in 2 months, and you've made about $30,000 doing it.
Oh, thank you for saying that on the air. How much
luck box?
How much money? How much?
The ultimate luck box.
You've
over
probably
here.
won double that sports betting.
Oh.
Hopefully nobody from the IRS is
I
listening.
would say much more than that, actually.
Okay, good. Let's go to Brian. Brian, thanks for calling in.
My pleasure.
What's up, Brian?
JD, you're doing a great job, buddy. Hang in there. I know what it feels like to be outnumbered 2-1, so that's how it is on this end of the phone, too. First correction, it was not hamburgers and fries today at the White House.
What was it?
It was Chick-fil-A products.
You know what?
Chick-fil-A is actually really, very, very high-quality chicken.
And they are a
that's a level up.
politically incorrect company.
That's a level up.
They're very Christian.
Yeah, they're very. Look, I'm telling you, yeah, the evangelicals in this country are big time.
They're very
Chick-fil-A
Mike
fans,
Pence.
as they should be.
They're very
Yes.
Mike Pence. Yes,
They are.
It should say Mike Pence on those sandwiches. Go ahead, Brian. Thank you for correcting me, though. I do appreciate that.
All right. Second thing, David Axelrod. You remember David, don't you?
Of course,
Former,
yes, of course.
Advisor and campaign manager for Barack Obama.
Yes,
our
sir. Yes.
Last president.
Yep.
He says the House is making a mistake by doing this. What they're doing is they're throwing all the spaghetti against the wall and hoping something's going to stick.
Exactly.
Rather than having a crime that occurred and then going after that specific crime and trying to investigate whether or not anything happened of substance.
Can I ask you, Brian?
They're playing right into the hands of the Republicans for the 2020
Brian,
election.
Brian, with all due respect, I do respect your opinion. I think you're making an overreach and making an assumption. Last I checked, the Robert Mueller investigation was not over yet. There's a lot of people around Donald Trump that have committed crimes, and we need to wait and see what happens. Now, I don't know if this – I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know if this probe is the right move or not. I don't. But if Robert Mueller's investigation comes out, let's just say tomorrow, and it turns out that Donald Trump did commit some very serious crimes, would you have a problem with this probe? Because if you're assuming that there's nothing there, I'm going to assume maybe there is something there. Would you have a problem with the probe?
Well, nothing has leaked out. Everything the last 2 years of any substance is suspiciously leaked out from the Mueller probe.
Not everything, though. You don't know that.
None of the final rulings have leaked out. So what that tells me, and most of the pundits on both sides of the aisle, why do you think they've switched to this new investigation?
I don't know, and I don't think you can assume.
And I agree with you. We have to wait and see.
Right.
Okay?
That's all I
One
want.
last question for you guys.
Yes.
Who is Charlene Lamb?
I'm sorry?
I have no idea.
Do you know who Charlene Lamb is, Chris?
I do not.
Or Brian?
Who is she?
I do not.
She was the lady who took away the security from the Benghazi outpost 30 days before they were overrun by terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Rocket-propelled grenade launchers.
Mm-hmm. And your point?
She is a pencil pusher in the State Department. She made that decision on her own. And in fact, during one of the investigations, it was made clear that another part of the military offered to keep those guys there at no cost to the State Department.
So can I ask you a question? Who would you hold? I'm sorry, Brian. Who would you hold more responsible, this Charlie Lamb or Hillary Clinton, for what took place?
Charlene Lamb and the other pencil pushers.
All right.
But
fair enough.
She's the head of the State Department, so Hillary is going to get some flack. Too,
I understand. I understand that. I guess the point being is that there were a lot of investigations, and if this Charlie Lamb did commit atrocious acts and did not give them what they needed, then she should be in jail. Unfortunately, she's not, if that is the case, Brian.
You know what happened to her?
What happened to her?
Well, they said she was suspended for a number of days. Her and this other guy that was her cohort in this mess.
Well, if she was responsible for 4 innocent deaths.
Back at full pay, doing the same job she did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's been she's just been shuffled around and nothing's happened to her.
And I want accountability, Brian. I know we both do.
I do too.
Yeah, and I appreciate the call as always, my man. Thank you. Good call. Let's go to Brad. Brad, thanks for calling into the Vegas Take. Brad, how are you? Brad, are you there? Did we lose Brad? No? Well, hey, what movie does this come from? Look at the big brain on Brad. One of my favorite movies, by the way.
What flick is that?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, great.
It's one of my favorite movies. The number to call, 257-5396. Again, 702-257-5396. Let's go to JD. JD, thanks for calling in. How are you?
Thank you very much, JD. If you need any help next Monday, I'm volunteering.
Yes, sir.
Even up the score. I know the double's teaming you, but I know you're a strong forward. You can fend them off.
All right, go ahead, JD.
So what do you think, JD, about of what's transpired here the last few days, particularly CPAC and the House?
One real quick comment on Mrs. Clinton. One of the reasons, Brian, all those investigations went nowhere is, as you know, and Mr. Wynn, that Obama and his Justice Department, Holder and what have you, blocked every witness that they wanted to call. 54 of them, I think, or 34, I'm not positive, that were directly involved, that were there, and he wouldn't let them testify. Number two, Mr. McCabe was the investigating FBI guy that went to Benghazi to find out what happened. Unfortunately, he waited 22 days to go and inspect the ambush and the whole thing. So there wasn't much evidence left. So in regard to Friar Tuck and his investigations, this is just a way to make sure that they can wound President Trump for now until 2 years until the election. That's all it's going to be, is an ongoing throwing darts at him, causing everybody to think that he did this, that, or the other, just to ruin his reputation, ruin his chances to get reelected. And I'm making my new nickname of Friar Tuck is Congressman Nadler.
Oh, I like that, JD. Hey, JD, can I ask you one quick question in regards?
You can ask me anything, sir.
In regards to President Trump, you say how this is one more step to ruin him before the 2020 election. What do you think about the indictments and the convictions and the prison time of the individuals around President Trump, aka obviously Michael Cohen, Paul Manafort, and others? Is that something? No. I get, and just let me finish it off real quick. Is that something that damages President Trump, do you think?
It would be, but name me one person who had committed any of these crimes that had anything, to do with the election. Manafort goes back to 2004. General Flynn, even the FBI said he didn't lie, worked for Obama. You got 13 Russian companies that are indicted that are never going to get prosecuted, except the one company that came here, and Mueller wouldn't give him the evidence that he's supposed to give them before taking them to trial. So obviously, all of these 34 people or entities that are being charged by Mueller, there's nothing there that connects Trump and his administration. You had the FBI in the Trump campaign while he was running, so they know nothing.
JD, let me ask you a very simple question. Do you know for sure 100% that there was no collusion?
I think all the scholars, including Professor Dershowitz.
I didn't ask you about the scholars. I asked you. Do you know 100%?
Collusion is not a crime.
Okay, first of all, it can be a crime.
Yes.
Okay, so don't say it's not a crime. It depends on what exactly took place.
Are you smarter than Professor Dershowitz and me?
Well, first of all, I don't go to my information to Professor Dershowitz, who appears on Fox News every night. Okay, for the record. And number two,
he only has about 50-year history of being a left winger.
So I don't care if he's a left winger or a right winger. I'm asking you a specific question. Do you know 100%? Do you know more than the Mueller investigation? You know 100% there was no.
You obviously know that. You obviously know. I don't know that. Come on. Don't.
Ding, 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 ding. There you go, JD. You don't know exactly what's going to happen in this report.
And you don't know, and nobody knows.
You're absolutely right. But guess what? The president is under investigation. Let's wait and see what happens until after the investigation.
Well, wait a minute. Let's wait and see what Mueller has, because it's been 2 years now.
So what?
And obviously, the insiders, Friar Tuck and the Democrats, know that he has nothing, and that's why
not true.
What do you mean they know? They don't know. They don't know any of that. They don't know that.
Well, didn't Adam Schiff interview Cohen and coach Cohen before he went in front?
No,
of the,
he did not coach Cohen. No, he did not coach Cohen. What we know, what we know is that Cohen. I'm trying to explain. What we know is that Cohen and Schiff, what they talked about is Schiff wanted to know the type of topics he was going to talk about, which is not against the law and is not necessarily, as you like to put it, coaching.
But it is not the normal procedure.
And you know what? Donald Trump is not the normal president. What's your point?
The point is the Democrats don't play by the rules. They never have.
Oh, there you go. And Republicans do. And Republicans do. Right wingers do. So left wingers are all bad and they don't play by the rules. But according to JD,
I think for the majority of the time, the Republicans in those committees played by the rules and did not try to sabotage the witnesses before they appeared.
All right, fine, JD. That's fine if that's your opinion. I don't have a problem with that. But with that being said, to say that left wingers they don't play by the rules and right wingers do shows your bias right there. I'm going to disagree with you, and here's what I'm going to say. Both on the right and the left, they both don't always play by the rules. They both play dirty tactics. You cannot tell me that one side is good and one side is not. It doesn't make sense. 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Let's go to Richard. Richard, thanks for calling in. How are you?
Hi, how's it going?
Good, Richard. What's on your mind?
I just want to say I'm from England, and obviously, I now live in Las Vegas, and I can never really understand why President Trump hasn't made it easier for British nationals to, get green cards in the United States, and we're also excluded from the visa lottery as well, which I find quite bizarre.
I don't know. I Richard, I find. By the way, Crown and Anchor, great bar. Do you go to Crown and Anchor? I have to give them a plug.
I've heard about it.
All right, it's a good place.
Island.
Well, you know what? Ellis
Island's my spot, my friend. That is, I am there at least 3-4 days a week. It's my caveman Keno Haven.
Yeah. Well, Richard, you bring up a valid point. I think there's a lot of people that live in far and away places that are very concerned at some of Donald Trump's policies. Look, I'm the first one to say that I want protection at our borders. I want to make sure that as few illegals as possible across the border. But with that being said, the majority of illegals in this country are not crossing the border illegally. They're overstaying their visas, and yet Donald Trump never brings that up. And I think that's interesting, and I think that we should be able to tackle all the issues. I truly believe that the border issue, Richard, is a campaign issue with Donald Trump. He campaigned on, we're going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it. If you're going to call the border wall issue an emergency, then why is he not calling people who overstay their visas an emergency?
Well, we don't seem to have that for the Canadians. They get in on the NAFTA agreement, and same with the Colombians as well. They've also got special privileges when it comes to getting green cards. My gripe's always been when you look at the visa lottery in the countries which are all excluded, and I can never understand why the United Kingdom, after all the stuff we've been through as well, we've been through world wars and we've always stood by America in the Middle East, but we always seem to be excluded from ever being able to take a green card route to ever, move to America, and it's extremely difficult actually if you're British to actually get a working permit in this country, which I've always found.
And that's unfortunate.
Well.
And that's unfortunate, Richard. And for people like you that I would imagine are good people that live in this country that do not break the law. I want you in this country. Now, the president did claim that, but I'm not sure if he actually believes that or not. That's just the truth. 257-5396, 702-257-5396. I love that English accent. Yeah, you got to check out Crown and Anchor. It's an awesome place. They don't even sponsor our show, but I do love that place. It's a great place to go. Ricky Hatton used to go to that place all the time when he had a fight in town. Loved it. Yeah. Absolutely loved that place. 257-5396. Let's go to Will. Will, thanks for calling in. How are you, Will?
Brian, I'm incredible. And yourself?
I'm doing okay, my friend. What's on your mind?
Well, I just want to say God bless Donald J. Trump. What a magnificent man, American, and leader.
Thank you. Were you talking about me or? Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That you did.
Yes,
you did.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, all right. Look, I have a question. I have several questions for you. Ready?
All right. I'm ready. Let's do one at a time, though, Will, because I don't have a very good brain. I can only process one question at a time.
Okay. And I'm not going to hang up on you and call you a name, okay?
Thank you. Now, I appreciate that.
Well, likewise, I assure you. So let's see. First of all, do you think we're close to a civil war, or do you think this is just some kind of public unrest that will just die off once Trump's reelected?
No, absolutely not. The quick answer is no. I do not think we're near a civil war. Next question.
Okay. Do you pay for your show, or does somebody else pay for your show?
I personally don't pay for the show, no. It's an odd question, but there is something in radio called sponsors, advertisers. So if you, for example, Will, when you put on your television set tonight, there aren't television stations that just appear for free. There aren't radio stations that just go on the airways for free just so Will can enjoy it. There's something called sponsors, and sponsors do exist.
Brian, my family had 14 corporations. I'm well aware of that. But there are some talk radio shows who pay to have a talk radio. The public isn't aware of that. Mm-hmm. And do you know Doug Basham?
Doug Basham. No. Who's Doug Basham?
Well, he's on your radio station, I think, on Saturdays. And the vulgarity of this man, the vomit of nastiness is just I can't believe that your station of your man. I've thought about.
Okay, why are you bringing that up? I don't even know who this guy is. And why are you bringing up whether this is a Will, with all due respect, your first question was a normal question. Why are you calling into a radio show asking who's paying to be on the air? That's just a really weird question. What do you do for a living, Will? How many women have you slept with your whole life? Do you like questions like that? Will, when did you lose your virginity? No. Will, when did you lose your virginity? Do you like that question?
It doesn't matter.
I'm going to guess you were 35 years old when you lost your virginity. How many ex-wives do you have, Will? Answer the question. Answer the question. How many ex-wives have you had? If you're going to call into my show and ask personal questions about finances, how much money do you have in the bank?
No, that's not.
No, let's do that. You called into a show and asked a personal question. I want to know how much money you're worth and how many ex-wives do you have. Will you answer the question? Thank you. Yeah, I didn't think so. Goodbye, Will. Have a nice day. If you're going to call into a show and ask a stupid question, that's what it feels like when you ask a dumb question, Will. Thank you for calling in. Yeah, when you put on your TV, there's something called advertisers. When you listen to what do you think? These places just exist for free? No, people have to pay money. It's called sponsors. It's called advertising.
And Doug, we all know why he asked that question, right, Shap? We all know why. He's trying to take a shot at you,
that's okay.
Which makes no sense because it doesn't make any difference. Okay,
it doesn't work.
It's not like you're not taking. Let's put it this way out there, okay, listeners. It's not like Shap is taking money out of his pocket to come and pay KDWN to be on the air.
Here's what I do. I panhandle downtown.
Yes.
I dress up as a bald 38-year-old white man desperately wanting to be in radio. I hold a sign up.
I could absolutely picture
that. And then
that.
whatever money I make every day, I put it towards being on the radio.
Yeah, so
that's what I do.
So you can have a mouthpiece.
That's what I do, Will. I hope I answered your question. Speaking of taking shots.
Yes.
Did you guys see what happened at the end of the Nevada-Utah State game? Oh, my God. This was absolutely insane. Jordan Caroline punching a fire extinguisher, a glass, blood all over his hand. Well, the guy we have coming up on the show next, his name is Duke Rittenhouse. He covers UNR. He covered this story. There's going to be suspensions. Could be coaches. Could be players. More and more information seems to be coming in every day. What exactly happened in front of the Utah State locker room after they beat Nevada? Who was involved? Why did Jordan Caroline get so upset? We're going to get down to all that business. We're going to find out exactly what happened with Duke coming up next. He writes for the Reno Gazette. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come up next, Duke Rittenhouse is going to be joining us, and we will be covering this story because it is an interesting one, and it could have some severe ramifications when it comes to the Mountain West Conference Tournament. That and much more. Chris Wynn, J.D. Sharp alongside. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You are listening to The Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.